Welcome back to the Puck Drop update from the Live at $1 podcast with Savvy and myself. The Stanley Cup is set.
We're here.
We basically almost got all our predictions right. I think we both said Stars. No, I said Avs, Panthers.
Yeah.
So that's probably, if
We're
you're counting
close.
it like bracket style, I lost a lot of points putting the Avs. But we have a repeat of last year's absolutely cinematic Stanley Cup Finals. Panthers, Oilers, Game 1 tomorrow if you're watching this on Tuesday, which you are not. But it's Game 1 Wednesday night in Edmonton. Savvy, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling more confident this year than I am from last year. I mean, first off, let me just say, the Panthers have gone to the Cup 3 years in a row, and the league still doesn't want to give us respect. We said it as soon as we get past Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round that we were going straight to the Cup. I wasn't worried about Toronto. They took us to 7, but they still didn't get the job done. And Carolina, joke. But we're here again, and now everyone's saying, oh, Edmonton this year, blah, 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 blah. They still got to go through the best team in the league, and we've done it 3 years in a row. It's not something easy to do, and to make it a dynasty, I think we got to get this one done, and I'm feeling pretty good going into it. A couple of reasons. Again, playoffs, Stanley Cup comes down to goalie. You know, the guy is ice cold. He's locked down. And Skinner, I don't know. He has really good games, and he has games that are a little shaky.
It's very streaky.
So that throws me off. And another thing is when you lose a guy on your team that does everything from front to back, and speaking of for the Edmonton Oilers is Zach Hyman.
Yeah.
Again, unfortunate loss. I really hope he feels better. Never want to see anyone hurt like that and not play. But losing him, I think, is a big blow for Edmonton. He was a Panthers killer last year in the series, and for their whole playoffs run last year and then this year. To see him go, it's definitely going to hurt Edmonton, and I think we should really take advantage of that going into the series.
Yeah, to try and not, be both of us on the Panthers side here, I think this Oilers team is a lot different compared to what they were last year. A lot of their scoring came from Draisaitl and McDavid. And I saw a stat this playoff run, they've had 20 goals come from people not named Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. So there's a lot more output in terms of their second, third, and fourth line, wingers and centers. Evan Bouchard looks fantastic, but he is a bit of a defensive liability at times, but I think he makes up for it with his offensive abilities. Evander Kane has been unbelievable this playoff run.
Great.
I think it'll be better than it was because I remember last year's Stanley Cup, it was very topsy-turvy. Like, I think the Oilers won a game with 8 goals, and the Panthers came back and won with 6. I think these will be a lot more cagey affairs, a lot more
Tighter
gritty,
games.
tighter games. With Skinner, like I said, you never know. He's one. You can have 2 shutouts back to back, and then let up 6 the next game. So, I think at the end of the day, it's something that's always talked about. It comes down to your goalies, and I think if it's just a goalie matchup, if we're evenly matched on both sides, just for argument's sake, I still think that the Panthers have the edge. In terms of health and everybody, both series went 5 games, so there's a lot of everybody's well rested.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get the best version of both teams without anybody being tired. So if you're a betting man, I'd look into the under for the first game because it's just been so long since they've both skated at full speed.
That's a good point.
It's the first 2 games in Edmonton. Then we go back to Florida. I think we split the series here. I think they'll go 1 win for Florida, 1 win for Edmonton.
Panthers got to get
1-1.
at least one in Edmonton.
I'd like to say the series doesn't start until the away team wins a game, and I think the series will start early. I think the Panthers will take Game 1, and then the Oilers will shore it up at the back and keep a low-scoring win in Game 2, and then we'll head back to Florida for Game 3, and then start of a new series, essentially. It's tied again. So
yeah, should be good. One thing I wanted to mention, so I think Edmonton maybe took a page out of the Panthers' book where, like you said, so many different scorers. I mean, if you look at the Panthers stat sheet for this playoffs,
the defensemen have been scoring at will. It's
at
crazy.
will. You love to see it, but everyone's scoring from top to bottom. But I think the main thing, a couple keys for both teams, I'd start off for Edmonton is, for them is, like you said, just making sure like their defensemen are aware of all the Panthers guys that are attacking. Wherever they are, Panthers.
They tend to pinch a lot.
Yeah, they just got to be careful because Panthers 5-on-5 I think are the best team in the league. The way the defensemen move up on the offensive side and just the guys are always buzzing. For the Panthers, I think the key factor for them is to stay out of the box. You do not want to play against Edmonton on the power play. I mean, you just mentioned Bouchard, but, I mean, from Draisaitl to McDavid, I mean, Corey Perry's scoring goals now. And then Evander Kane as well. You just don't want to have them having that advantage and having them to get easy goals like that. Again, McDavid is one of a kind, so when he gets in that zone, it's going to be difficult for the Panthers. So I think the main thing for them is to stay out of the box, and I think they'll be okay.
I think the Panthers do have a very good, penalty kill, but I just think that Edmonton's power play is bar none.
Yeah, it's just too good.
You can almost count a goal almost every time when you kind of feel like if you're an Oilers fan, or if you bet on the Oilers for a game and they get a power play, okay, here's a goal. The goal's coming. It's either going to be Corey Perry net front or just Draisaitl across or Connor McDavid across right into the slot, and then it's in the net and you start over again. So I think it will be difficult to stay out of the box, being how physical we are. Hopefully the refs kind of it's a Stanley Cup final, let them skate.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see. Who do you think is going to have the biggest series out of anybody? Who's going to win your Conn Smythe? Can't say McDavid. You can't say him.
No. I think the two guys you can't say, it can't be Bob and it can't be McDavid. You got to have to – I want to pick someone different. I mean, for me, I just love seeing this just because, just from, my past life as a college baseball player, I was always kind of like a gritty guy. And I would love nothing more to see Marchand just tear it up right now. The guy's been buzzing. He's been skating around the ice like he's like a rookie in the league. And the setups that he's been doing on that third line with E2, Luostarinen, and Anton Lundell it's been insane. And that line is amazing, and he's a big part of it. I know Anton and E2 have been playing for a long time together, but Marchand, I would love to see him, get a game-winning overtime goal, game-winning assist, and just buzzing around. But I would say it's him, and then if it had to go to Edmonton, I'm going to lean towards Draisaitl here. He's been clutch with the goals, and especially on the power play. I just think if they're on the power play, he's going to be the one scoring the goals where everyone's going to be focusing on McDavid, and then McDavid makes the dish. And then one last guy I just want to say, if there is, I think he's been playing his best playoffs in what I've seen. I mean, he's always up there. He just never gets that much respect, but it's got to be Sasha Barkov. Some of the plays that he's made.
Selke winner.
Yeah. I mean, he's been stepping up big time, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just starts tearing it up this series.
All right. I'm going to follow suit here. I said if the Oilers win, it's going to have to come from Stuart Skinner, whether you like it or not. It's entirely dependent on Stuart Skinner's performance.
Fair point.
So if he performs really well and stands on his head for 2 to 3 games in the Stanley Cup Finals, I could see him winning the Conn Smythe if we can't choose Connor McDavid, right?
Right.
It's more than likely going to be Connor McDavid if the Oilers win. But if we can't pick Connor McDavid, I'll go Stuart Skinner. He has to play out of his mind in these Stanley Cup Finals. And for the Panthers, I think it'll be Matthew Tkachuk. He's been kind of quiet. He had a good pop in the first series against the Lightning with those 2 goals and 2 assists. I think he got a goal last game as well against the Hurricanes in Game 5 in the elimination game. But I think that's finally, he's had enough time off. He had 5 days off.
Yeah.
Nurse any of the back pain that I hear he's been having. So I think if we can get Tkachuk at the best of his ability, I think he has a very good chance of making a huge difference in this series for us. It was going to be Reinhart, but he's coming off an injury with that hit from Aho. Yeah, so I don't know if he's on a minutes restriction or what exactly. So normally I would pick him because he's just always in the right place at the right time, always in the best spot to shoot. But I think Tkachuk could either get it done passing it because he's been dishing it really well.
Yeah.
He just needs a few goals to his name, and I think he could easily win the Conn Smythe.
It's a good one right there. Definitely need Tkachuk to step up here this last series. Bring the cup home back to Florida. You know where this is coming, guys. We're going Cats in 6, bringing it back home in Florida. If it does go to 7, I would love nothing more to win it in Canada. That would be
unbelievable.
That would be the cherry on top right there to win in Game 7. And hear McDavid yell once again, like me on my live shows.
Dig the fuck in.
Just kidding. Cut that.
Dig the fuck in. Whatever you got. Da-da-da-da-da.
Dig in!
Just exactly for what you said. I'm going to do it. It's going to be absolute cinema. This series is going to be unbelievable. Arguably better than the last one. I'm going to go Cats in 7. Yeah. In the oil.
And if you are a Panthers fan or Edmonton's fan or a hockey fan, especially Panther fans, do enjoy this. If you're a Panther fan like me, been a fan my whole life, and we've had some really bad seasons.
Really bad.
So 3 years in a row going to the Stanley Cup, and I think 6 years in a row going to the playoffs. Enjoy this. This is a lot of fun that you're on right now because it may not happen again for a long time, if ever. So enjoy it.
Whoa, you're saying this is the last year?
Oh no, we got
Is that
more.
what you're
I'm just saying. 3 years in a row is tough.
There's going to be
people.
some budget cuts this year, but
Yeah.
I still think we'll be a strong favorite to make some noise in the playoffs next year as well, depending on how this series goes. But once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy.